Taxation is theft. Your phone is spying on you. Fiat is a scam. Start living on crypto before it's too late.
Next up at ETHDam, Joel from Dash. How does he envision living fully on crypto? Let's find out.
My name is Joel Valenzuela, and I do business development and marketing for Dash. Yeah, the main message I'm trying to convey is it's time to start trying to live on crypto. We've had adoption delayed for so many years while people are pursuing other things rather than just try to use crypto as money. There's been a lot of chasing rabbit holes that don't need to be chased down, or accepting compromises, poor user experiences, all these kinds of things. And I think that's put us behind, and I think we really need to start making a real focus to use freedom money before we don't have the freedom to use it anymore. Yeah, where it came from me is in my education as a young person. I learned about the story of money. Where does it come from? It comes from barter, and then you have different kind of things, and eventually you end up with precious metals made into coins, and eventually you turned into, gold certificates, like pieces of paper that represent gold holdings. And then it was always glossed over what happens, how did we get rid of the gold, and why? And I grew up in the north of Mexico, and I came right at the end of the peso crisis when the old fiat currency collapsed and they had a new one. I remember my grandmother had these old coins that didn't work anymore. These new ones did work, but this one didn't. And I was always kind of very aware that money isn't always worth the same thing, that if you have a government currency, something could always collapse. And so I was always thinking about, if we return to a gold standard, the whole Peter Schiff angle, right? If we return to the gold standard, started using precious metals, again, the world would be a better place. But maybe it's because I'm very impatient. Maybe I'm not that bright, and this is all I could think about. But I would say, well, why can't we do that now? Why do we have to wait to build legislative consensus and do a bunch of other things and convince the central bank? And so I wanted to try to live off of gold. And so in 2011, 2012, I was trying to acquire one of Peter Schiff had a gold-backed debit card that I was trying to find. I was like, I could have all my savings in all my spending money even in gold, and it just auto converts when I swipe a card. This is amazing. I was trying to get one of those, and I never got around to finishing it. When I heard about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and a friend paid me back we shared a pizza when I was traveling through Chicago where he lived, and I paid for the pizza and he paid me back in Bitcoin. And I was like, this is great, I get to use this. And that sort of started the journey. And what it became is, even though I was using Bitcoin anytime I could or getting paid in it anytime I could, it wasn't until the end of 2015 I started to think, like, well, sort of what am I doing with my life a little bit, because I was sort of talking about this is great, it's going to change the world, and using it in my own personal life, kind of. But then I felt if I really believe this, I should have more conviction. And also I started feeling a little, I guess, the pressure to, if I'm telling people to do, this is great, use Bitcoin, I should know more about what I'm promoting. And so I needed to really live it so I can be confident in what I'm doing. And so then I just decided to stop accepting payment in fiat currency and only being paid with crypto. And it started, I was writing for Cointelegraph for a while. They would pay me right in Bitcoin, and then a few other things. And I did some work for Dash in like 2017 and 2019, and then ran my own podcast, and I still do, in consulting and other things, whatever would pay me in crypto. And then did some work for Zcash last year as well. And then finally this year I'm just back full time, getting paid straight from the Dash DAO, straight from newly created coins, just the way Satoshi intended, right? Pure, and just living on crypto the whole time. Yeah, if you are in the crypto native world, everything is, I don't want to say seamless, because I complained about just today a lot about how it isn't, but it, compared to fiat, is so seamless to where if I want to say, hey, someone here, I'll set you up with a Dash wallet, and I just beeps, you got money. That's it. You don't have to KYC, you don't have to do any of this stuff. Or someone says, hey, I don't like Dash, I have Monero. I only want Monero, and I just do a couple little things, hit a swap, it swaps, and then they get Monero, and you can pay. Or you have a wallet, I do know some farmers local to me that take crypto, and they just have a wallet such as Edge, and just anything that's supported by Edge Wallet, they will take for goods and services. And so no one would do that with fiat. No one would say I accept rubles and dinar and whatever else, and USD as well, and then Argentinian peso. Like, no one would do any of that. It's just ridiculous. But it's just so easy that anyone anywhere in the world, for any time, for any amount, I can just pay or receive from. And if they want a different one, it's just so easy to go between all these coins and tokens. As long as you can afford gas fees, so just stay away from Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe. And as long as your transaction goes through, so be careful with Solana, maybe. Which might date this interview in the future, but whatever. So the point is, it's the frictionlessness of it. And it really hit me how it's not just a convenience. I had a friend who was his life was in danger in a different country. He had to run and seek asylum. And in order to get his plane ticket, I paid for it in crypto. And so he bought the plane ticket, like he went to the whole thing, and he just said, he sent me the address and the amount, and I just paid it, and then he escaped the country, and he's still alive today thanks to that. And if I don't think I could have paid for it otherwise, at least as easily. If someone's life is in danger and you're paying, sometimes you don't want your finances associated to this individual then, because then it could be a problem for you. So just the ability of like, here you go, I reach from my pocket and give it to him, but digitally, it's that easy. That frictionless, that's the world I want to live in. It's not just my world, I want the whole world to be like that. What I like to say is the worst part about crypto is fiat. So the worst part about crypto is any kind of time you have to interface with the fiat world. So for example, if you want to pay bills and things like that, and you don't want to just, your landlord or whoever you're paying doesn't take it directly, you do have to go through a fiat intermediary with all the KYC stuff, and then those get regulated and sometimes your service goes away. Or you want to pay, like buy like a prepaid Visa card or something, and then where those are accepted and how they're accepted is always moving around. There's always, in fact, just yesterday, I had a card rejection thing for I have like a business card for whenever I pay, I pay almost every single business expense with crypto, and when I can't, I have a reloadable card that I have for my business. And so when I pay for a hotel that I can't with something else, and I paid for all my hotel and everything in crypto, but then when it came to pay the actual tax they make you do it in person for some reason, and the card just didn't work, and so thankfully I had enough euros in my pocket just in case, because I'm unfamiliar with the territory a little bit. I don't live here, that I was able to just cover that charge out of with cash. But that's the worst part. The hodgepodge of services, that this one works and this one doesn't, this one went out of business, but then that's a huge problem. The number one pain point always, or this situation, which when this is over, I'll know that we've won, is hanging out socially with people. That's the most difficult thing, because the payment circumstances are always a little more in like a crowded establishment, for example, and then you don't always get, like, I can pay for anything I want, but I do have to choose where I get those things based on where can I use crypto. Like, I'll see, I'm in a new town, where can I eat? Oh, let me check. Bitrefill has a gift card section, so I can buy for these restaurants. If it doesn't take that, then no. Or I'll see their point of sale thing. In the US, there's a lot of places today that don't have NFC tap and pay payments still, which is crazy, but that's a different story. And so if I can't use a virtual crypto card that I have in my watch, like, I can't really pay. And if I'm hanging out with friends who don't have crypto, I can't just pay them back in crypto. I get a little bit of anxiety, and that's the I guess the nightmare situation of having to pay with crypto. And once I never get that anxiety feeling anymore, once I just know I can just go out and I know whatever I use will work and I won't decline or whatever, that's when I'll feel like I can just tell everyone, no, you should absolutely start. Not just if you want to, you can live on crypto, but you should. Everyone should. I can say that once I clear that pain point. We don't realize how much control over our lives we give up on a day-to-day basis. When you use it with crypto, You know what you're doing. You control it. And when you try to do it in a non-custodial, no KYC way, you start to see the complete control and surveillance regime you used to live under, or the rest of the world lives under. And it is scary. And people did this by acquiescing. Don't acquiesce. Stand up for what you believe, and don't let people take away your freedom. That is a very difficult one. It's lazy maybe to say Satoshi Nakamoto, because I think even today, with all the technological advancements, he got so much right the first time that so many other projects had to take a long time to learn. But that's lazy. I would say Roger Ver is a big one. And there's a lot of controversy behind Roger Ver over the years, and especially people who don't like the choices of which coins he promoted or whatever. But this person heard about crypto on a radio show actually run by friends of mine in New Hampshire called Free Talk Live in 2010. And then he just went all in, and he's been a constant advocate over the decades. And there would be no crypto industry today without him the same way, because he was an angel investor in the first crypto startups. And he had the wealth and the vision to really make this into an economy, make this into a movement, give Bitcoin value. And there's a lot of people I think are very admirable. I really like a lot of people, but as far as I think about the void in the space. If you pulled him out of history, crypto would suffer the most of anyone other than Satoshi, probably.
Any last words, Joel? To your
Your-
audience?
Yeah. Taxation is theft. Your phone is spying on you. Fiat is a scam. Start living on crypto before it's too late.
Thank you.